Hello, 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 hello. This is Tips of the Unknown, and we are less than an hour away before Crown Jewel starts. And I just finished making a video about Saturday night's main event, November 1st, and War Games, November 29th for San Diego. But I wanted to talk about a totally different subject from the two. Um, but, different from Crown Jewel and War Games and San Diego main event. Um, it was one that I really wanted to collect my thoughts on before I spoke and really just make sure they're a lot more organized than when I was going to make this video. And I was looking for a picture to really help get my point across. And, I could have easily just went with the recent ones and that still would have been okay. But I felt like this picture here kind of really gets my point across. So, um, this picture right here. Why is it so important? Because it's just helps with this story, this bloodline story that's been going on. Because I feel like they are going to make an OG Bloodline 2.0. I'm sorry if I'm still a little tired. Um, so yeah. But I'm still at 90% capacity. So I think at 90%. So I think I'm pretty good. um, I feel like I'm gonna drop these two videos, the one I made earlier and this one before Crown Jewel. Okay, so anyways, um, um, the reason I feel like this is really because of what this picture solidifies. This picture that everyone's looking at right now. This was Roman Reigns and Jey Uso having a meeting. I think they signed in a contract for a battle between these guys. It was a tribal combat, and there was a lot of respect. It was supposed to be like a real homage and a real like. It's very very family oriented and how they handled it amongst themselves. And I felt like that moment right there between Roman and Jey was a very because there was love there, even though Roman was being a complete douchebag to Jey. But even there was a respect there between the two where they put that aside. Even when Solo tried to break it and tried to Samoan would spike him. Roman stopped him. Was like, no, that's not what we're here for. This was a respect that Roman had for Jey, and Jey had for Roman. No matter how much they hated each other or went to war against one another, that picture right there spoke 1,000 words. So, from there all the way to now, Jey Uso has become a Royal Rumble winner. What, an Intercontinental Championship one. An Intercontinental Champion. A Royal Rumble winner. And winning the World Heavyweight Championship. But he lost it to Gunther. In a lot of ways because he was focused on other things rather than himself. And Gunther pointed it out to him. But Jey didn't pay it any mind. And Jey paid the price by losing that World Heavyweight Championship. And it feels like whether it's because Jey spent so long under Roman's thumb that he just wants to do things his way and wanted to do it, what made him feel good, or if it was just a way for him to, in a way, pay for his sins. for being part of the bloodline and doing Roman's bidding all that time and hurting all these people that he was really close with. So it could be that too. But Jey stepping in and trying to help his friends has really cost him his title or any chance of him getting it back. And as of late, Jey has been realizing that his approach to things has not been the right approach. Now, Roman had returned amongst his many returns already this year. Him and it was before Clash in Paris, and Roman and Jey were talking, and Roman was talking about you can't trust CM Punk, you can't trust anybody. It's not about making friends. It's about capturing moments. It's about representation. That's what it's about. And Roman just basically gave Jey his advice. And Jey took that to heart. And it wasn't until after Clash in Paris that Jey fully bought into it. And you're starting to see the wheels turn. And it's really leading me to believe that Jey is going to be OTC2. Roman is OTC1, but Jey is going to be OTC2. I feel like Jey is going to be the next tribal chief. And Roman's going to be more like the Godfather, like the ultimate Godfather up top. Like any really big moves have to come from him, but Jey's gonna handle a lot of the big moves on his own, like his decision making. But I think Roman's gonna be again, here it is, the wise man of the group. That's what's gonna happen, and I feel like it's a beautiful way because it also means that Roman necessarily doesn't have to be there to tell the story. Obviously, you can have Jey having a conversation with him on the phone and go from there. And it just sets it up beautifully for Jey to kind of be the next tribal chief, and then have Jimmy be his right hand man, and have Jimmy get elevated up. And then also, I don't know if this will actually happen, but since it's already Jacob Fatu's already kind of joining them in War Games, this would be more of Jacob being part of the group. Now, he already was part of the MFTs and all that bullshit, but I just felt like it wasn't his vibe. And I think the Usos are more his vibe. And I think Jey would run it differently. Not necessarily, I don't know if he'll run it the same way as Roman by pure manipulation. But I think it's more the fact of family loyalty that I think that Jey's going to really bring this Bloodline 2.0. And what will be totally different from Roman. Because for Roman, it was manipulating that family loyalty. I think for Jey, could he do it? Possibly. But I just feel like it's more geared to the fact that it's all love and respect within the Bloodline 2.0. So I feel like there may come a point in time where it could change, obviously, because if Jacob ascends the way he's supposed to ascend, then I feel like that's where we're leading to. So that would be really interesting. Sami Zayn's gonna stay where he's at. I don't think he'll be really a part of it unless they're planning to do like expand outside of Raw and try to take over both brands, which is something that they pretty much did in the OG Bloodline. They could try to do it again, but instead of having all members show up on both brands, they can easily just have one core be on Raw and another core be on SmackDown. which doesn't necessarily mean that Jacob Fatu needs to go to Raw. If they're going to go down that route, they could easily have Jacob and Sammy just kind of control things on their side, but obviously they'll need another guy because it can't just be them two because that'd be kind of crazy. But or they'll just pretty much have the whole it all just be on Raw, and it'll just involve Jacob, Jimmy, and Roman, and Jacob being more like, if I need you, be on call. But mostly it's going to be between the three: Roman, Jay, and Jimmy. Now, right now, Jimmy's kind of like not wanting it, and Roman, he was talking about, I see everything, I hear everything. What the hell's wrong with Jay taking advice from me? And it was something that Jimmy actually kind of pointed out in when him and Jay were feuding, was that Roman is going to corrupt Jay. Now, you could easily say it was because Jimmy felt jealous of Jay, and I think that was part of the reason. But this also kind of justifies, this whole thing kind of justifies what Jimmy was saying, that Roman is corrupting Jay. Because right now, Jay's not acting necessarily like Jay. He's acting a little bit more like the right-hand man, Jay. You know what? I don't want to take that away. The mentality is there. Right-hand man mentality for Jay is there, but it's more of him acting out on his own rather than taking orders. And I think maybe that's what Jimmy kind of feels like Roman's trying to do. He's trying to make the new bloodline again in his image. But I feel like he's more of just telling Jay what he's really thinking deep down anyways, and giving him that advice. And I think Jay really appreciates that. And this picture right here says it all. There's love and respect between these two. It's all family. And I feel like what Roman said, telling Jimmy sometimes you just need to get out of his way. And I think that's the thing. And it's been prepping. Roman slowly has been prepping Jay for this moment. For him to ascend to tribal chief. He just wanted to kind of go about it his way. And it didn't go his way. But also in a way it kind of did. Because Jay is kind of slowly, he understands now a lot of the things that Roman went through because Jay was champion. Now, he didn't go through over 1,000 days as champion, but he was champion and he understood the weight and the heaviness of the crown. And so now he understands a lot. I feel like he understands a lot more of what Roman was going through and what he wanted from his family. And I think it's all kind of stopping there because now he's taking advice from him. Roman is the wise man of this group. He doesn't... Now, can Roman Reigns still be Roman Reigns? Of course he can, because it's Roman Reigns. He's the OTC1. But he can also be the wise man and a guy who's been there before, who has been through all the wars and been through all the situations before that Jay hasn't. That Jay can lean on and ask for advice and ascend to Raw. And honestly, the Bloodline story, it just needs to happen because let's be for real about this. WWE's kind of been falling off since the Bloodline ended, essentially. The OG Bloodline story ended back at WrestleMania 40, and ever since then, look, I like Cody Rhodes. Yes, I do like Cody Rhodes, but I just feel like it's kind of been flat. So, this right here, this new iteration of the Bloodline 2.0 with Jey as the OTC2, Roman as the OTC1, but at the Wiseman of the group as well, and then having Jimmy being the right hand man and Jacob kind of being there if they need him to be there, like like a hitman in a way. If they needed to source out a problem or whatever, or for just because it's family loyalty. I think we are getting a Bloodline 2.0, and I think War Games will kind of be like how it gets built. And now you'll see Roman's group versus Seth's group, and it's a battle for control, and that's going to be so much more fun uh, on Netflix. And easily, it doesn't mean that Jey needs to be champion right there. I mean, they could easily win the tag team championships. It could very well happen. It could very well happen. Uh, and then Roman goes and he'll face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania and get back Seth Rollins for all the crap that he put him through and become champion and destroy Paul Heyman and possibly bring an end to the Vision. Or like this is where the Vision starts cracking completely apart after WrestleMania, this coming WrestleMania. So a lot of stuff right here. But eventually it will come down to, I feel like, next year's SummerSlam again. Another bout between, it could easily be another bout between Roman and Jey once again. Or Jey could win Money in the Bank and cash in on Roman. Or somebody beats Roman at SummerSlam, Jey cashes in, and it's still part of the family. A lot of story and intrigue here that could happen. But those are my thoughts. I feel like we are building up to a Bloodline 2.0. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be really intriguing. And I'll tell you something about Jey, man. Jey, when he is in this mode, I honestly feel like there's no other than Roman. There's probably no other better storyteller than Jey Uso. You can say whatever you want about him in the ring, that he's not as, he doesn't have a lot in his repertoire in the ring. But when it comes to making you feel something, Jey Uso is that guy. So, those are my thoughts. OG Bloodline 2.0 commencing really soon. Guys, I hope you love this video. Give me your thoughts in the comment section, how you feel about a possible Bloodline 2.0 with Jey as OTC2, Roman as OTC1 but as a wise man, Jimmy Uso as the right hand man, Jimmy Uso, and Jacob Fatu being part of the group. Jacob Fatu would be an interesting one because I know he just came out of a group, but it makes sense because the Usos are the reason why he was inspired to even get into wrestling after all the things he went through previously in his life, all the hardships, So, let me know in the comment section how you feel about that. Do you think it's happening? How would you feel about it? Alright guys, thank you for watching this video. Again, we are now less than 20 minutes away from Crown Jewel. I will be uploading these videos after Crown Jewel. So, yeah. Hoping I go undefeated, but I don't think I will because I still feel like that Tiffany and Stephanie match is going to throw me for a loop. Because it could either go with Tiffany, but I'm sticking with Stephanie on this one. But yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens. Thank you guys for watching. As I always say, please stay safe out there. World keeps getting crazier and crazier and crazier, and we just gotta just keep hanging in there, keep believing that eventually we all find our way. All right, you guys stay safe. I'll see you guys in the next video.